Morning, Jar 200. Spring 2019. It's a cold one. Today is January 14th. Okay, and your original quiz, okay, and discussion is due tonight by midnight. Just to remind you, okay, due by midnight. Everything closes, and then everything for the second week will open tonight. Okay, at midnight. Okay, so as you can see right here, I have you on student preview mode. Okay, so that's what that's all about. And so again, every week you just go in and you start right here and you click on the weekly assignments. These are all the instructions. So read it again. It's in the syllabus as well. We try and be as straightforward as possible. So this is the one that we're finishing up right here. We click on that. This is the week, the video that I posted last week. Okay. If you're new to the class or if you didn't get pick up on on this video last week, please read this. Please watch this, because it explains everything you need to do to succeed in this course. Okay, it explains how to navigate the course. It explains how to do well on the assignments right in here, and we'll give detailed videos on the exact execution of each of these assignments as well. Okay, again, go to these how-tos. Okay, so this same video is put in here, and it says how to navigate the course and get an A. So you find it there in the first week, and you find it here. How to use Turnitin, okay? How to get your Turnitin receipt, okay? Which you need, you're responsible for each and every time, okay? When we get to these submission assignments, okay? And that's it. So you guys are finishing this up. Please post on discussion. You saw me surfing. I actually went surfing at Cotton's yesterday, the same place you saw there. Okay. Alrighty, the waves are big. What am I going to be doing now? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go backwards in my browser, because you can at this moment in Blackboard. All right. And it's going to take me back here, and I'm going to go back to now to week 2. Okay. And so it's the same reading assignment. Again, we're looking globally at population issues. And I go backwards on the browser again. We're going to look at our own country in the following week. And that's what this one's all about. Okay. But you guys are all, going to be world travelers. You're going to make your money by traveling the world and working with lots of different countries and economies. And so this is why this is a real good exposure. We're going to get into each of these individually, okay, in subsequent chapters as well. All right. So what you do is you click on this, which I've already done. In my particular computer, it takes me, as I indicated before, to Internet Explorer, which is not the best of browsers, okay. And then we scroll down, and again, if you look at the assignment, okay, the assignment said Trend 5 through EndNote, okay? So I'm going to come back over here to the reading. I'm going to find Trend 5 at page 14. All right, and there it is, okay? And so we start looking at some world issues, So the discussion, as I'll point out to you later on, hones in on Japan. They were one of the first countries to get into this situation, okay? And it's still a great place to live, and it's driven by economy, driven by the workplace. And so what's happened is they've had this population decline because people are getting jobs and pushing their careers, and they're not having children, okay? We see Russia in the Ukraine. We see Russia, though, by far is crazy in terms of this trend, okay? First of all, it's Russia. Nobody wants to live there, okay? It's cold. The country's all messed up, and economically, they are really not a world power like they used to be. They're kind of declining, and they're kind of laughing right now at the situation that they've created in our country. So, anyways, you see right here the projected population decline between 2006 and 2030, 18% decline in the population, okay? So they're going to become an old nation, okay? Young people are getting the heck out of Russia, okay? They're leaving Russia, and what they're leaving behind are all the elders who are going to be on their own, all right? So there's a big decline on fertility. There's not much immigration because the country is kind of, got severe policies, and it's not a great place to be anyways, and people are leaving, so there's lots of immigration. All right, so keep your eyes on Russia. And so we went over this last time, and you see right here, and we see, look at the trends in populations, growing, segments of older people. We see this here, and declining segments of younger population. All right. Again, that's the kind of like a comparison spot photo between 2006 and 2030. All right. So now we're going to look globally at changes that are happening in the families. Okay, so now we looked at the actual numbers. We're going to start honing down into individual societal issues. Okay, and things change. First of all, life expectancy increases in the industrialized countries. Okay, the more forward-thinking countries. Okay, and what does that mean? Okay, we see basically a decrease in fertility. Okay, we're going to have less family care. All right, to support the older people. So that's a huge issue. It's a cultural issue, and it becomes then a policy issue as well. Okay, we see what's happening, in modern families. There's more divorces, remarriages, blended. When you have a fracturing of the family, then the ex-spouse is not going to be taking care of you when you're 70, and suddenly you have a disability. So these are all big changes in society. Okay, as we're going to find in Japan during our discussion, but it's also even in our country, people are voluntarily not having children. Okay, or if you do have kids, you wait and wait and wait, and you're outside your fertility range, and you're lucky if you get one kid. Okay, all right. So this childlessness is a big deal in terms of social structure, in terms of the family, in terms of society. Okay, so we can again, hone in on just Japan, and this is just a matter of where the data is coming from. So this is looking at between 1960 to 2000. All right, and we're looking at living arrangements of people over 65 here. All right, and we can see in 1960, okay, because of the culture, a majority of people lived with a married child, okay, or with another relative. And we see that this has gone down, 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 down here. And the most significant increase in terms of lifestyle changes in terms of old people and how they live is they're either living alone or they're living in an institution. Okay, or living alone with a spouse. The children right here, you see, have kind of decided, it's your problem. It's kind of sad. All right, and when you're on your own, like we see right here, then there's going to be this shift that we see here in terms of work and retirement. It means that you're going to have to be able to basically step up and be responsible for your own financial well-being. Okay. And part of that is, back in the day when pensions were set up by governments, people didn't live that long, so it wasn't a drain on the government in terms of finances. It's a huge drain now. Okay, so what we're seeing here again, here's another snapshot from 1994 to 2005. We're looking at the entire European Union. We're looking at people aged 55 to 64. And we see before that a large segment of the population, just under 50% of men, just around 25% of women here, were not employed. Okay, but now we're seeing were employed. Sorry, which means the remaining were not employed. Sorry. So we're looking at the employment rate here. But you see what's happening now in modern history is older people are staying employed longer. Okay, and so what's going on there? Well, a big part of that has to do with public pensions. Okay, a lot of these countries have themselves, and if you look at world economies, major problems in terms of their individual country economies because they're burdened by their public pension system. France, you've seen nothing but trouble lately, okay, because they don't have the finances. Italy is in big trouble. So all these countries have lots and lots of trouble being burdened by having to pay a pension. I don't get a pension, all right? I have what's called a defined contribution, meaning I take my own money, I use USC's 401k program, and I take my own money and I invest it for my future. It goes into my Fidelity account that has mutual funds, which we're going to talk about later, and I can't touch it. and I just let it grow. I mean, I can, but if I were to, I'd suffer a severe penalty. Okay, alrighty. So we have, the financial aspects. Okay, then we're going to look here at what's called entitlement programs, social insurance systems. Again, this is a global article, so we're looking at global issues. Okay, and you see again these countries that are finding themselves in financial trouble because so much of their gross domestic product, meaning of their annual finances as a country, okay, the expenditure is going towards this pension system, and it's not sustainable as people live longer. So it's a big deal, okay? This right here is mind-boggling to look at this graphic right here, okay? So we look at the ratio of workers to the number of people that are drawing their pensions, okay? So we see in China, the number of people that no longer work, okay, that are depending on financial support, okay, from either a private entity or a government pension, okay. So in China, it's a government pension. So you see the millions of people, okay, 50 million people in 2005, and yet the number of workers that are supporting that are declining, okay. Remember they had the one child policy in China forever, okay? So that means more and more of your paycheck is going to be supporting those people's financial well-being. The same thing, of course, is happening in our country, okay? So you guys can expect to have more of your paycheck going towards my Social Security and your parents' Social Security and my Medicare and your parents' Medicare because of this trend. All right. So we look at the economic challenges, okay, and we're going to be talking about investing in this class. The Swedes kind of have it down, So what do you do, okay? If I don't want to have to work and I don't want to have to rely on a government pension, that maybe things will go south with governments. What you need to do is invest in your own well-being, and that's what this is all right here. So we're looking at people that own mutual funds and stocks, okay? So you take any money you've earned, okay, and it's a risk, but you go ahead and you buy stocks, or really the more important thing to do is just invest in mutual funds, which are large bundles of stocks, thousands of stocks that you can assign risk to, risky bundles or medium risk bundles or very little risk bundles, which is what I'm doing because I'm getting older, okay? That being said, we look across the board and look at how low these percentages are, So in Greece, we're talking less than 10% of people have any funds invested, Crazy, crazy, crazy. Talk about our country. Did you know that if we look at people 55 to 65 in our country and we look at the median amount of money people have saved, okay? All right, this is the middle, all right? So we line up every single person in the country, and we look at how much they save, and the person right there in the middle, $16,000 at age 55 to 65. That should scare the poop out of you. All righty, so it doesn't matter that you're older, you continue to conserve economy, you concern to conserve the well-being of the country, but your contribution is short-lived, and that's what shows right there. Awesome. All righty. So that is the overview of this chapter, okay? Which you see that the discussion is not here. It will be here soon. I mean, not discussion, the quiz, okay? Then this is discussion, again, pointing out all these trends, okay? Looking at population shifts, you see the dominance of older people in global populations and economy. You see how countries like Sweden, France, US, we had a long time to kind of prepare for the aging. Japan did it really quickly, bam, okay? And it was, again, financial. Now we see these other countries, okay, that are not as financial well off as we are, zooming into this. And so they're going to be looking to you guys because we have time to prepare. We have a school of gerontology that thinks about these things, and they're going to be looking for answers because things happen so quickly for them. Again, this is, the growth in population in India and China, okay, 2010 to 2050, over 65 years of age, okay? And we're looking at millions of people, millions. And it should be blowing your mind. All right, so these are a couple of cool videos, and then this gets into, a lot of you guys are business majors, that talks about the economic crisis that's happening in countries like Japan, and countries like Russia, where there's no fertility and suddenly there's no new workers. So and places like Russia, they can't get people to immigrate in there. So what do? They hack us and steal from us. So, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to exit the preview right now. It's going to take a few seconds. Okay. All right, continue. All right. I'm cold because it's been cold, so I have my jacket on today. It's a Dodgers jacket. Okay. Awesome. All right. So the reason I'm going into here. So you've seen how the quizzes are. There are 5 questions. Okay. I just want to give you a feel of how we handle this. So this is my course tools. Okay. And if you see, we have tests, surveys, and pools. And I go into my question pools. Okay. And these are each of the week's assignments. Okay. So for example, I can go into the upcoming one, which is this one right here. Okay. So I'm going to hit edit, boom. And you see every single question listed there, okay? All right, so that's 21 questions. You're going to get 5 of these, and maybe 3 or 4 of these will also show up on the midterm, okay? So I can go in here. China has the highest, and let's read it here. Edit. All right, so it's a multiple choice question that we created. China has the highest numbers of older people relying on younger workers to fund their pension. How many millions of pensioners were in China as of 2005? It tells you that figure that I was just looking at, okay? Alrighty. And we scroll down here and we say 6.7, 2.8, 51. There's the answer. 51, all right? So that's not so hard, okay? And that's how it goes, okay? Let's see here, okay? Let's edit this one, right? So it says, okay, which disease would you predict to be the lowest financial burden over the next 50 years in Japan and the USA? What disease will have the lowest financial burden? Measles? I would hope so. All you need to do is get a vaccination. Parkinson's disease? No, that's a chronic disease of aging. Huge financial burden. Cancer? Chronic disease of aging for the most part. Stroke? Chronic diseases of aging. Okay? Yes, just get your vaccination. All right. All right, guys, so that's how that works. All right, so I'm going to go back to the announcements. So I'm going to be posting this this lecture, and I'll send it to you as an announcement as well. And just like all other weeks, I'm going to sign off. Good luck, guys.